Are you fucking kidding me? I just hit record.
Sync error detected.
What the fuck?
I've never had that happen at the start of the match.
Never. Game's like, hey, you want to do recording? Well, fuck you. Hello, everyone. This is Greyshot117 and special guest Sean. No big introduction.
No.
Okay.
I'm a subtle guy.
Well, in any case, I'm here to show you a how-to video on the Americans. And, you know, be kind, be gentle. I'm not as amazing as I am with other factions, but I'll at least show you the base of the Americans.
Amazing. That's an adjective that some people occasionally use.
Yeah, I mean, they also use that to describe me, right, Sean? Right, Sean?
Say that.
Okay, so the Americans are a little bit different. When they start off, unlike, let's say, the British, the Soviets, they don't exactly immediately get an MG that they can deploy. So they have to rely on
focus more on just plain infantry.
Exactly. So they're really the game of, like, pushing the front and holding it, and also countering other defenses. So, for example, I'm going to deploy some riflemen. I'm going to deploy a mortar. So in the first base, you get access to the riflemen, rear echelon, the mortar team, and ambulance. And I'll also get an ambulance as well. The one thing I'll say, quickly going over the rear echelon. Rear echelon, you can, of course, equip them the barbed wire. They're really good support infantry, more so. Don't expect these guys to win a direct fight. So they're not like pioneers or the Soviet engineers. We can get flamethrowers and they're really good damage.
They're engineers, but they have no combat ability.
Exactly. They can deploy smoke, as you can see, if they can get this grenade package. And then also what they can do is they can deploy, they can do a volley fire, which is a light suppression ability, which will work if troops are out of cover. Not really great against troops that are in cover. It takes a long time. They also can place very, very light tank mines, which aren't great for hurting tanks, just slowing them down.
Can be decisive in battles.
That is very
Don't
true.
underestimate them.
Yeah. But that being said, they are very... Like, don't think that they're going to blow up the thing's tank. By the way, you see where the stars are, Sean? We'll take about 50-50 until... Alright? So, we're not really engaging each other. Just that way we can go over everything. Now, the nice thing about Echelon is they can actually make tank traps, so you can technically make cover, and also they can make fighting positions.
Tank traps provide heavy cover and difficult to destroy. Great for early map control.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm making one right now. Usually you'll see guys put it while they're waiting on a point if they don't have cover right there, and they'll use it as heavy cover.
You can just not bother to get them.
Also, they have barbed wire, so like, you'll see a lot of guys put barbed wire on the opposite side of some like heavy cover, so people can't use it.
Yeah, so that doesn't work anymore. You can take heavy cover from barbed wire now.
That's why, in case you see this, but as I actually show you, literally like right here, you can still see the heavy cover on the barbed wire, so it really doesn't make sense. The fighting position's pretty good. Here, I'm just gonna make that real quick. Don't take the points. Do not take the points.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, don't take the points.
I forgot.
It's fine.
Yeah, so the fighting position is basically a bunker from the Wehrmacht, except when rear echelons get into it, they can fire off grenades.
Yes,
they're moderately powerful. They're not great, but
it's weaker than the Wehrmacht bunker. But if you're trying to section off a piece of territory, it's not a bad upgrade to do. It's actually pretty good for sectioning off piece of territory. This is a wider map on a 1v1, so it's very hard to do so. People can easily like flank through this building or something to get around it, but I'm going to upgrade it with a heavy 50 cal machine gun and get my troops inside and kind of show. Also, you need the rear echelons to make munition points and, like here, or fuel points. So just be wary of that. Don't expect these guys to be like, how do I say this? Again, don't expect these guys to be front lines, but they're really good. They're very good support equipment, and they help really build up the Americans.
So they do have a surprisingly high damage rifle, great for taking out enemy Kubels from the OKW.
Yes.
Because of their high damage and, well, you can't really miss it hard.
Now, before I go over rifleman, because
their downside is that they have terrible accuracy.
Yeah. Before I go over rifleman, I want to build up some more munitions, so we're just going to give it a minute, and I'm just going to show you guys the mortar real quick while we get some more munitions. The mortar is okay. It's your standard mortar.
It used to be super powerful.
Yeah, it doesn't... Okay, so it's not...
It functions pretty much the exact same as mortar.
Yeah.
It has barrage ability, smoke, doesn't have a special ability.
Exactly.
It has the same range as the Russian Wehrmacht mortar.
Yeah. it's kind of standard, honestly.
There's nothing special about it at all.
Exactly. It's very a lot. Okay, so this
Given
really
the choice,
was
always
when the
take the
Americans
Russian
were
mortar.
first deployed. This wasn't with it,
Mm.
but they added it
That's
because
okay.
people complained about having a mortar and wanting it to like balance out with the other mortar, especially early game, not just trying to get a howitzer. So yeah, they gave people this mortar, and
They gave it this mortar with the shorter range, but pinpoint accuracy. This thing was a wiping god.
yeah, but then they patched it. And now it's
They had
just,
to nerf that real fast.
yeah, it's just it's a generic mortar. I wouldn't get it unless you're really desperate, because again, the Soviet, like
Well,
if you're playing with
actually,
a British
no,
player,
you could always get it, depending
Yeah.
on who you're facing.
It's good to
Against
get-
someone who's likely to deploy G, such as the Wehrmacht, you'll want it either second or third after you get a first rifleman.
yes,
You can probably get away without it against the OKW, but you definitely need it.
but here's my stance on it. If you can get a Soviet mortar, get that first, and if the enemy has a fortified position and can get a
Yeah,
mortar
that's a
carriage,
bit unfair to claim. If
But-
there's another fact.
what I'm saying is though is like, again, you want to work as a team effort. So if you can get a Soviet mortar,
Yeah,
or
but generally you can't really
especially the 120, I would get that. But with this, is not. It's fine. It's again compared to the British that don't have.
It's completely
mortars,
generic. I don't know why you're still
Yeah.
talking about it.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to point out the fact of like, because I always try to point out like like what's better certain units to kind of give like scope and detail. So for
Yeah.
example, riflemen, let's get on
No,
to
it
them.
performs the exact same as the other mortars, but it has no special ability.
Yeah. So just real quickly to go over the American infantry. The American infantry is worth 280. I'm just putting down some caches real quick while that's going on, so that way we can get some more resources going. I shift click, by the way, for that, in case people wonder like, how can you string it? It's shift click. Anyway, American riflemen are good. They are probably some of the most powerful frontline infantry in the game, just starting off.
No, but go on.
But anyway, if you put them in cover, they'll tear apart Volk squads, grenadiers, etc. And especially if you give them the upgrades, which I got.
So it says they're good at medium range, but they're actually best
Oh.
performance at close range. They have actually very poor accuracy, so you need to get them to close the distance, like like the Russian cons.
Yeah. But the one thing I will say about them is the fact you can change that by giving them bars and LMGs. LMGs are only certain for certain doctrines, such as, let's see, here we go. The infantry company, you can see here that LMG, and it does cost a little more. It's 70 munitions, and then bars 60, and then the bazooka is 50. Bazooka is good against anti-armor. The bar is good against anti-infantry, and the LMG is really good against anti-infantry. Like, the LMG will outrange and, like, outshoot Wehrmacht LMGs. So again, I get this. Bars is equivalent.
It
LMGs are
actually
better.
doesn't out-
But here's the thing, though.
Yeah,
Here's the thing.
MG.
You have to be. You can't move with them. You have to stop moving the unit. That's the catch-22 for it. It's a little more powerful.
Well,
but
that's
then,
the same for all heavy machines.
Not the bar. You can move
Oh,
while
no, like-
firing.
What?
Yeah, you can move while firing the bar. Absolutely, you can move while firing the bar.
Yeah. Right.
I want to say you can.
Oh, the
I'm-
MG34 can't.
Okay. The MG34. Now, that's the base, and of course you get the ambulance. The ambulance will heal your guys, so it's automatically, like, heal the base. Plus, if you want, you can deploy the medics outside and start manually healing units. But, like I said, I recommend just keeping them in the ambulance, kind of move that around, and then just healing. Anyway, moving on, we also have the platoon command post, and we have the active command company post. Either one of these you're going to upgrade, and if you really kind of want to upgrade these based on the situation at hand. So, for example, we have over here the active platoon command post, and that will get you a lieutenant, which is bar. Wait, is it bar still, or did they switch out the bazooka? I
No,
swear
the lieutenant now gets the bazooka.
they still have writing here is upgraded with Browning automatic rifles. So,
Well, that's
yeah, I know that
Correct.
should be changed. Anyway,
Relic's real bad about updating
the text.
descriptions.
But in any case,
I think the Yag Tiger still says it's effective against all units.
sure, why not? Yeah, I really want to see that person who has to just verse a mortar closer without using the explosive shot. That'll be amazing. 5 minutes later, it's still firing. But in any case, you get with the platoon command, you get the 50 cal machine gun, you get the utility car, and you get the Stewart. We'll just go there for now. I'll just unlock it, just kind of give an idea of why.
Mm.
So with the
So the
lieutenant,
lieutenant performs exactly the same as all the other rifles.
yes, but you can upgrade with the bazooka.
But it does get a smoke grenade,
Yes, it does. So that's good for getting around MG positions. Then
and we'll get the fragmentation grenade once you unlock that.
yes, and also we have the 50 cal machine gun, which okay, the
Has
American
the worst suppression of any machine gun, but has by
Well,
far the most damage.
I don't. I.
You're
the
not trying to use
Maxim-
this like a machine gun. You're trying to use this like another rifle group.
Yeah, but
It has a relatively short setup to it.
I will also say the armor piercing guns on it is native and pretty good, so I highly recommend getting it, especially if you're versing light armor. So just or like light like scout cars, stuff like that. It'll tear stuff apart pretty quick. We also have the utility car. Oh wait, what the fuck? Requires key number 1115944. What the hell?
Oh
All
man,
right.
is everything glitching out this time?
Possibly. It's like, okay, that's not normal. Or maybe
so
it is
the M20
normal.
utility car
If
comes
so.
with a vehicle crew with a bazooka, and can lay what mines are they? M3 mines. Very powerful mines. These things used to be capable of killing Jacksons in single hit.
Oh, real
and
quick,
disabling
sorry.
engine.
So this is the lieutenant. You can get the upgrade for the bazooka for 50, and of course you can just give it a bazooka as well. So you can just turn this to a really good
Have
anti-infantry,
you
anti-armor
explained
unit,
unlocking
mortar and
grenades
stuff.
and
Yeah, that's why I was trying to get into that. So when I was talking about the LMG stuff like that before, Sean kind of got me off topic. Thanks, Sean. I'm kidding.
You're welcome.
Anyway, you can unlock weapon rack and grenades. Grenades are good for single use against multiple targets. The problem is if someone's good at micro, they can dodge it, so you have to be one up. And you also get smoke, which can go around MG positions. The weapon racks will increase damage overall.
Well,
but
no, grenades are for clearing cover. You're trying to force the enemy out of the heavy cover so that you can gun them
Yeah,
out
but
and
if
you're-
someone's good at micro as well, you're not going to be able to deal with that. Are you really firing mortar shots at me with smoke?
That's just
Uh-huh. Any case, so you, like he said, you also get a utility car, the 50 cal, and then I'll eventually deploy the Stewart to kind of show off that unit. The utility car is a great all-around unit. A lot of people don't like it because it's just a weaker... It can't really stand up to a Wehrmacht scout car. It's better than a Kubel, but then also it's not as great as, let's say, it can't beat like a Luke's. Maybe it can't defeat like a Puma. So a lot of people see this and are like, why the fuck would I get this thing?
utility
But
car. Well, you're not trying to. It's just got a
I
machine
know
gun on
that
it.
that's why you have
It's
to
just a
use it.
Kubel.
That's I mean, it's a stronger Kubel. You have to use it like a Kubel. Support your infantry with it, and then as well use it to use its specials, which I'll show that in a second. And then of course the Stewart, but we'll get to that.
I
once
have
it's
seen a
deployed.
number of people like to just simply remove the vehicle crew and use the bazooka.
Exactly, and also this thing can be upgraded with better armored skirts to make it survive a little longer. It's 70 munitions. It is a lot. So if you have extra munitions, use it. If don't, I mean, you can probably use this vehicle fine without them, as long as you're good with the micro. But just to kind of get out, yes, they do have a bazooka team in here. So it can be very powerful. If you, let's say you're being chased by something, you pop this sucker out, and literally you just fire a bazooka straight at the vehicle chasing you down. But in any case, also you can go around with this unit and do two things. You see here, the smoke pots. So you can deploy smoke and get at targets, kind of like the Puma, or like Panzer Tactician, but it's automatic. And then also you can go over and place mines on key junction points. And this mine, this 60 munition mine, is very powerful. It's probably equivalent to a teller mine for the Wehrmacht.
It has a random chance to actually destroy the engine vehicle, immobilizing.
Yes.
So it puts it up there alongside Regal Mine. Them.
Yeah, so essentially what you do is, especially as Americans, you really want to focus on munitions because you get a lot of really good abilities that are very, very powerful, especially if you get the munitions for it. In any case, I highly recommend just laying down a bunch of mines, especially if you can get into enemy territory and lay it on key junction points, because you could cripple the opposing enemy without them even knowing what the hell happened. Because you can quickly lay down a mine and get out of there with the utility car and use its speed. So that's what I would recommend. Otherwise, again, it's pretty good. It's a good support unit, but don't expect this thing to fight armor. It's really good for supporting infantry, and that's about it. And then on the flip side, like I said, we have the 50 cal machine gun, and then I'll show you the armor-piercing rounds.
Hold on, I've got a AT gun nearby. Let's show how well it takes to hit.
All right, so I have the armored skirts. So let's see. I'm going to the center star. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Oh wow. Okay. Okay,
Yeah,
so that's with
see,
armored skirts.
It takes about 2 hits to kill it, so
Yeah.
honestly, it worked. It can take a hit,
Yeah.
but that's about it. It can't take more.
Exactly. Wow, the vehicles stocked on piercing rounds, increasing penetration effectiveness once it gets to vet 3. Interesting. Cool. So yeah, again, this is a unit you have to keep alive. Also, it starts to highlight something the Americans have, which is that vehicle crew. A lot of factions, actually every other faction, doesn't have vehicle crews. So you can get out of the unit, which again puts it up to being stolen. I can't tell you how many times I've stolen American armor because they're not paying attention.
Twice.
But you can
Is the answer 2?
yeah. Anyway, you can steal the vehicle while it's decrewed, but also you can steal it very quick.
The vehicle crew is able to get out of the vehicle. At that point, the actual vehicle counts as a world item.
Yes.
So it can be stolen by any character, but it also doesn't cost any pop cap towards you. So some unscrupulous individuals have been known to decrew their vehicles to get out extra ones, so they can go well above their pop cap.
That is not a glitch, but that is a tactic in this game because Relic hasn't patched it, so I'm assuming they're fine with it. So yeah, you can have a larger army than your base population, but that being said, A, that's a lot of resources, so it can take some time, and B, the other counterpoint to that is if you start losing infantry while you're overpopulation, they can't be resupplied, so then you have to really start sacrificing your armor, which again, some people are fine with, others not so much. In any case, so I'm unlocking the company command
Oh, by the way,
post.
the vehicle crew are also really pathetic shots. They carry grease guns that are really low damage.
Yeah.
So don't try to use these things.
Unless, okay, armor company
They also
allows
act
them
as
to get
engineers,
Thompsons.
so that they also act as engineers, so they can repair vehicles. Oh, whoops!
Wow. Okay, just killing that
I
thing.
felt the spare a little bit too close.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. But any case, real quick as well, because I kind of want to make sure I don't miss anything. So I just deployed the Stewart, and the Stewart is by far probably my favorite light tank in the game, because this thing is a asshole tank that can really fuck over the enemy if used correctly. The reason I say that is its main gun is both good against infantry and armor. More so against light tanks than, let's say, the Puma or something like that, like scout vehicles. But it's still pretty deadly.
No,
I mean, the Puma
does way more damage.
That's what I mean. The Puma will hunt this thing down and try to kill it, but the Stewart is the little tank that can really much counter, like, the Lukes, and can counter scout cars, except for the Puma. It can counter half tracks. It's pretty good in that regard. It can also counter infantry. The other thing it gets is shell shock. So again, you can see here, it can pretty much stun a tank and get the hell out of there. So it has it has an ability for like escape, but again, cost munitions, and you have to make sure that it hits.
I typically don't use it to escape. I use it more to disable an enemy tank.
Exactly.
During the assault.
Again, there's a picture of I think it's a King Tiger or Panther. You can absolutely use that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what opponent it's going up against.
Yeah, but also you can destroy their engine with a point-blank engine shot. I recommend, of course.
That one is very difficult to do because you have to stay real close to the enemy throughout the whole animation.
Yeah.
So it's
but
quite
by God, if you get that off, you could cripple a big tank and then have your Jacksons annihilate it. And we'll get to a Jackson a little bit later. Oh, and also real quick, so I also want to show. So you can see here this unlocks mechanized. That's in both of these. So if you just want like an AT gun and then the captain or lieutenant, or in this case, an MG and a lieutenant, then you don't need this upgrade. So you can kind of skip if you don't not getting utility car and whatnot.
Yeah, so with the last update, they changed the way this.
Yeah, they changed the entire upgrade
system. It used to be
system.
that you'd have to go either lieutenant or captain, which would cost 50 or 60 fuel, which was prohibitive to go both. But they unlocked very specific support weapons that you would need, either an MG for the lieutenant or the AT gun for the captain. Now they've changed it around so that it's 35 for each captain. But if you want to get a vehicle, you have to upgrade for that building specifically. So it made it much more accessible to get the support guns you need, but not necessarily get every light you want.
Exactly, because also a lot of people would focus on the captain because it would have the Stewart, the Howitzer, and AT gun. People would skip over the MG utility car and half track.
Well, I've seen a lot of people obsessively go lieutenant more. I think Ace was really the only one that went captain. Lieutenant for the heavy machine guns.
Yeah, but I saw
because of its high damage and low suppression ability. that
Yeah.
would deal a lot of damage to infantry, but they wouldn't get the damage reduction from suppression. So it would annihilate. If you had 2 or 3 of these, you would annihilate infantry really fast. So that's
Yeah.
what people.
But anyway, but now with the update, it's kind of, I see more 50-50, people going either one, and I think that's what Relic wanted. But overall, I would, again, it is also
I've actually
can
been
be
going
decrewed.
both officers now.
So it can be decrewed with the light tank. You can heal it real quick and get back in the fight. This is easily my favorite light tank in the game. I highly recommend if you want like light armor play, this is one you focus on because it's really freaking good, especially if you tag team it. Like I just had
It
a
also
game.
escalates well into the final stage against medium tanks because it's a shell shock ability.
Yeah, I literally had a game where I used shell shock and killed a bunch of armor. It actually, by the time this comes out, I think the play of the week with I feature this Stewart will be on Sunday. So it's like 2 days after this will be released.
Its main gun never really escalates to something amazing.
Yeah.
But it's a shell shock ability. High
Its specials
speed,
are just so good.
It's the fact that it has a vehicle crew, which means it's really easy to get back into the fight. Means it's a survivable little tank that could. The little tank that could.
Okay, so that's everything with the first command post. Now let's get into the second one. So the second one, you get a couple unique units. So first off, let's go with the captains. The captain gets the bar. It also gets a smoke grenade. You get this on me, which is Vet 1, which again will help if you start, especially if the enemy has a lot of MGs. They'll rally, so they'll
an
move
amazing
through the
ability
suppression.
that I know.
Yeah, I don't really use it that much, but when I see people do it, I'm like, fuck me, I'm about to die.
That's when you know someone knows what they're doing.
Yeah, then also we have the supervise, which also is something I never use, but I see a couple people do it.
That one.
Which, again, it'll just speed up the process for something being made. So let's say this half-track that's currently being made, I just have the captain come over here, and we'll just supervise this half-track, and you'll see it's being made faster. So that's help with, like, rapid production of Shermans or a Jackson or something, especially if you need armor out. This thing will definitely help with that. It's stuck in the base while you do it, but it'll definitely help. Any case, so it's a nice little ability, more honestly for more support functions than necessarily direct attacks, but really good. Then we also have the AT gun, which, going over this AT gun, it's probably my second favorite AT gun in the game. The Pak-43 is my number 1, but number 2 by far.
So the American AT gun, you really need to use munitions when you're facing larger tanks.
And that's why.
Penetration is pathetic until you start using the discarding round.
Yeah, you fire
discarding saber rounds.
Yeah, use sorry, Sabal.
Sabo, it's Sabo.
Sabo, thank you. Anyway, use those, especially if it gets a Vet 1 with Take Aim, which increases the freaking line of sight. So you're literally out-shooting. You could out-shoot, if I recall correctly, with it, or at least hit directly just the normal range of an elephant. And it's just like, holy frick, this is awesome. Because you can literally...
it's still slightly shorter than an elephant.
I'm sorry, without sight, just normal, like it's normal scope. But any capacity, it can hold back a lot of large armored units from very far away. Also, it's great for getting that one final shot on a tank when it's like, I've escaped. Yeah. No, you didn't.
Yeah, basically the American AT gun. You need to spend munition for it to be worth it.
Yeah, because again, both of them are 30, so that's 60 munitions. That's why I can't recommend enough, as the Americans really double down the munitions more so than fuel. But that's, again, that's me.
Yeah,
it feels important, but munitions will win you the game.
That was the big thing about the American faction. Paper tanks, you relied more on infantry. Your support weapons and your infantry are just as important as your armor in the late.
So let's go over something that is very important in all stages of this game. That's really freaking annoying, but really amazing. And that's the Howitzer. The Howitzer doesn't get smoke, but it can fire high explosive rounds. Really, like, look at this ridiculous range. It can fire a Howitzer literally
across the same
across
range
the
as
map.
the OKW support weapon.
I mean,
so I don't think we mentioned, but the OKW and the Americans came out in the same DLC, so they have a lot of mirror image.
I'm on it. I don't think so.
Sort of like how the Wehrmacht and the Russians have.
All right. So do you see the shot I'm firing at? Do you see the where I'm firing at right now?
Yeah, I see him.
Why'd you kill my Echelon squad?
Yeah,
that's fine.
I got bored.
All right. So I'm hitting that base from that position. I want you to fire back at my howitzer. Can you do that? with your.
Okay.
I know you have a sport gun, so fire at that spot. Also, we at Vet 2 we get high explosive rounds, and then at Vet 1 you get white phosphorus. White
I actually
phosphorus
genuinely
I
thought
would
they had
see
the
is
same range.
white phosphorus I see is a little bit better. The explosive again is explosive, but the white phosphorus it decreases something's health down to such a low level that literally a pistol shot can kill the infantry. It's so very weak.
Yeah, the white phosphorus is also great. You pair that up with explosives from your
Is that as far as you can go?
and you can wipe in. Yeah, that's the max range.
So the
I actually
howitzer,
genuinely thought they had the same range.
no, that I that's what I thought. Howitzers have a better range, but that being said, it's only slight as you can see, and as well, this is kind of big because again, the howitzer and the support gun for the
howitzer
OKW
also at
are
one
kind of
star, I
counteracts.
believe it is, gets heat rounds. While they're not actually
Vet
good
2.
at killing tanks, they can damage. But more importantly is that they're explosive rounds that can
So
really
technically,
damage
you
it.
could get something while it's in repair if you really want to fire. Like again, it's risky, but you could. But the one thing I will say is the sport guns are cheaper. So while yes, it's $340 for this howitzer, and that's pretty expensive for a mortar, that support gun's only what $270, and also gets smoke. So again, it has plenty of its own specials that kind of counteract this thing's range and firepower. The last unit we have to talk about for this post, because I know people are like, hey, get to the armor, is the half-track, the American AA gun. And I'm kind of of two minds about this. I think it's good
by
suppression.
far the worst AA.
Yeah, it's not great.
But the alternative is it's the only half-track AA platform that can suppress infantry while moving.
Yes. Because again, this thing can
That's
move
its
as you can
advantage.
see.
It can suppress while on the move.
Yeah, so while it's
So it's
running away.
it's a hit and run type.
Yeah. The problem is also it's different from most vehicles because you have to drive backwards with it, where most vehicles you want to typically go forwards. But no, you actually want to present its ass to the enemy, which is, again, counterintuitive, but whatever.
It's also struggles to shoot down planes that are directly overhead because it can't rotate full 360. So when it gets to its either left or right corner, it has to then rotate back. So it really struggles.
This thing used to also have a decent shot versus vehicles. I think it. I don't know. I've seen more
While
people
stationary, it
counteract
gets to use it. What's the heavy machine gun caliber? It gets to use a heavy machine gun variant fire mode that can actually
autocannon.
penetrate light tanks such as Luke's scout cars from the front.
Yeah.
But it has a limited clip.
Yeah.
I think about 5 rounds.
Also, as you can see if I click on this thing, if something comes in through the front of it, it's screwed. Like it can't fire anything directly in front.
We'll show you how it does against enemy light tracks.
Yeah. So here I'll deploy. Okay, there we go. Yeah, the autocannon's doing pretty well against it, but
You were a little bit helped by the AT.
Yeah, I was, but you can still see the damage on it. But that being said, let's say I charge. Wow, nice. Anyway, let's say I charge at that the medic base. I'm gonna skip your headquarters building. Let's say just charge head on, and I'll show you how. And I'll kind of show you the issue with this vehicle. While it is hitting from the side, if I go directly in front, oh shoot, yeah, if I go directly in front, his Obosodotan will just own it. Now the nice thing is the vehicle will automatically turn if under fire, so you can kind of see.
It also can't take a hit from a like all light tracks.
But yeah, it's a half track. It can't stand up to fire and grenades and such.
It's poorly.
Now, once you unlock one of those command posts, you can then unlock the major. And with the major, you can do a nice little combo. This is a risk-reward type.
So, let me just... Before the major called out, you have to either unlock both of the offices or one of the offices and the supplementary for the building, whatever they call it.
Yep. Yeah, so again, you can't skip thing if you just want to get something and move on, or just only need one thing so you're not wasting too much.
So it's actually a big consideration how you're going to tech up for the American.
Yes. So real quick, the major has a really well-known ability and really really good ability, also really terrible ability that it can essentially make itself a retreat point. You equip this with the ambulance, you essentially can heal it. You can heal the infantry. You can resupply the men so they're back up to full health. The problem with this, and now I'll say this combo. The problem with this combo is direct bombing strikes, artillery on this, because since you're closer to the front and you are outside the base, that allows the enemy to do direct strikes on this position, which means I see a lot of Americans who again, have a bunch of troops on standby, lying in wait by the ambulance to heal, and all of a sudden, a Stuka bomb strike, a walking Stuka, Panzerwerfer, you name it, will come down and just wipe all the American infantry.
So something you should always do as the Americans, every time you see a plane fly overhead, even if it's anywhere near close to the major, you need to shift the major. Because it's too big a risk if they did spot you. And sometimes just move them anyway.
Don't move it like 5 feet. Move it like again, like on the other side of the point.
Well, you only need to move them a short distance because most artilleries have a very limited area they're going to affect. But yeah, move it further than one stray mortar will hit them.
Exactly. Also, the Major has a bunch of special abilities, which is why it's a risk reward of like keeping it for defensive purposes.
I actually personally don't use the retreat point. I prefer to use his special abilities, specifically the artillery cooling.
Yes. Oh my God. It's okay.
It's an incredibly cheap artillery cooling that can be used to destroy bunkers.
Yes, and also the Major, the more you upgrade it, or sorry, get veterancy, the better its abilities are. So, for example, first one, you get weapon damage and, of course, increased recon flight, which I think you get a second plane.
You actually get 2 extra.
Yeah. Increased survivability at rank 2, plus you get more shells on rapid barrage, and you get this fake barrage ability, which scares the shit out of people, and I love it. People think, oh my God, white phosphorus is coming down or something.
Major is also the red flares. It's also incredibly easy to rank up. It only requires a very little amount of veterancy.
Yeah, it's like the president in Monsters vs. Aliens. He fires like 3 shots, and he's like the best president in the world in his eyes. So it's kind of like the Major. It fires a couple shots, and you're already on top of the world. But in any case, I'm just going to show you this artillery. You can see it needs to be in sight, or like needs to be like, again, colored. But then you can call it in. Yeah, well, you build it there, so of course.
Sphera.
I'm just showing them the artillery at no veterancy, and this is 60 munitions, by the way. So it's just a handful of strikes.
I'll set it to A, so you can move.
60 munitions for all that. That's how much, not bad.
Damage you'll do. You can move an infantry up to see how much damage it did. I've set it to AA, so it won't shoot an infantry.
Okay, moving up. I'm just moving up an MG. I'm actually curious about something as well. So I'm putting an MG in the building.
Okay, apparently AA mode doesn't stop ground fire.
Armor piercing rounds, let's go.
No, it does work.
I mean, it is hurting it slightly, but it's not.
You're not gonna rely on it.
Yeah, there's no way it's gonna. Yeah, it's gonna die. But yeah. But in any case, that's the Major, and of course, if you get the Major, you get all 3 armored vehicles that you can deploy. Here's the biggest downfall for the Americans. You don't get a dedicated piece of mobile rocket artillery.
Thank God. Rocket artillery's the worst.
Yeah, but the Katusha, the Stuka, and the Panzerwerfer are rocket artillery. You do get something similar to it, and we'll get that when it's deployed. But that being said, it's not. It's very different. It's very different in its implementation. And the Americans are, in general, they're a good faction to have. But the problem with them is they have lighter vehicles, so they're easier to kill compared to the heavier German variant, or even the heavier like Soviet and British variants. But what they lack in necessary for armor, they make up for in certain units' firepower and general utility. So, like I said, they can easily.
They were described as paper tank for the longest time because they had no armor, and the Jackson used to have no health points. And honestly, I usually didn't bother with them. They were actually really terrible.
Yeah.
But now they're actually pretty deep.
In the beginning of this game, that's one of the reasons why I didn't play them, is because they kind of sucked. So, but now over the years, they've been updated, changed. So, first off, we'll go with the M4A3 Sherman. There are tons of Shermans in this game, each one slightly different than the other.
Well, in reality, it's tons of Sherman. There's something like 50 different variants.
In the Soviet, I talked about the M4C Sherman, and this one's weaker and stronger in different ways, and I'll kind of go over that. So
the Sherman is your main battle tank. It has the option of changing between HE and it's pretty much a Panzer IV, except that it can change between HE rounds and AP rounds.
You can also deploy smoke, so if you're going to attack a position that's really fortified.
I don't like it's a smoke barrage.
You can drop smoke.
It takes too long on delay.
Yeah, it does. If you're running away, it's better just to try to keep running or decrew. But I mean, if you're trying to attack, or if you have enough time to drop smoke, and you can probably get out of the situation. Also, you can switch. So there's high explosive rounds, and then you also have armor piercing. And the explosive round, the armor piercing I just showed. This is the explosive, and you can see here it definitely has more explosive feel to it. The explosive's better against infantry and like support equipment, while the armor piercing's better against tanks.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Best way to use the Sherman, put it on
Infantry.
HE, never change it.
Yeah.
Always just focus in, because you're gonna have Jackson.
This thing will, like, a Sherman can hold itself against the Panzer IV, but don't, for the love of God, have this thing fight a Panther. It will die. The Panther is like a good Sherman killer, so don't. That being said, a good Panther killer from range, from a decent range, is the Jackson. There's another tank destroyer that the Americans get. We'll talk about that later. But the Jackson is kind of expensive, 140, 400, but it is damn good at sniping Panthers and armor from a long range. Again, just kind of show you the range.
The idea is, its archetype is glass cannon.
Yeah, it's very
it's hard,
powerful,
but can't take a hit back.
Yeah, for example, Panzergrenadiers of the Germans could come up and literally fire a bunch of shots at the Jackson and knock it out. So you really have to watch out about that. Oh, wait, do you have a Stern Pioneers or something?
Oh yeah, I can bring up Pioneers.
All right, move. Oh wow, that
you
worked.
Shit.
That actually fucking
well, there
worked.
you go. That's the
Yeah, you got decrewed its armor too.
Yeah, I completely forgot it has that enemy. You can lose the tracks.
So,
bitch.
I killed the
so you can see the Jackson does really well against Panther Force.
Yeah, but then comparatively to the Panther, look how much damage I did. That's almost nothing compared to that Panther. But that being said, that Panther literally is taking out good chunks of my health. Also, real quick, with the American infantry, you get great hang time. You get great hang time with the guys jumping out. I know, I love that.
That's really just because I like.
In any case, like I said, you want to use Jacksons from afar. You absolutely do. Never try to bum or like get your Jackson close because they'll die because again they're very weak. Same thing with the Sherman. Use them afar. Don't get them in close unless it's absolutely necessary.
Well, no, because they have better accuracy close. You actually want to have them crushed up against infantry, but don't. Well, I mean, if you're fighting tanks.
But what I'm saying is, compared to like, compare the Sherman to let's say, I mean, yeah, I mean it's good. Compare it to something in regards to a like a Panther or something. Like the Panther's gonna wreck this thing. That's why you also want to be cautious with it, and that's why I say always be supportive with infantry.
Nah, Shermans are cheap. Fucking throw them at him.
Sure, not as cheap
it's only
as
110
T-34s.
fuel. That's barely any more than a T-34.
Well, T-34
it's about the
is
same
90.
It's the same as a Cromwell.
Yeah, well, T-34s are also meant to sacrifice. Yeah, these
right,
things are
like,
good, but
an early
just be
Panther
careful.
is 185. Getting two Shermans, if you two
know.
Shermans could knock out a Panther, and if you lose one of them, that's a great exchange.
I very rarely see. No, I'll be honest. I've never seen two
No
Shermans
one does this,
beat
but
a
it
Panther.
does work.
It does work for very
it's
good
just
players.
easy to
Most
get
people
two
will have
Jacks.
the Shermans die because they hit the front armor. Any case, the other
right, you're not trying to hit the front armor. You're trying to bum rush them.
The other unit you can get.
You're trying to get up
this
close.
Thing. This is that weird unit in every single faction that you'll get. Oh right, I was like looking at why the fuck is it UNSC? Right, I have the decal. But in any case, oh, isn't that nice? Isn't that nice little halo symbol? But the mortar carriage is, wow, okay, it actually did penetrate. Oh, all right, I'll give you that. The mortar carriage is good against infantry. It's really good at long range, but like I said, it's great for firing shots over time.
It's a mobile mortar. There's not much else to explain to it than that. Well, that's actually really good.
Like, yeah, I'm not even joking. This thing has great range. The problem is like I said,
it does a hell of a lot.
Yeah, it's not a ton of damage, and
I think when you get it vetted up, it gets better HE rounds,
does,
doesn't it?
and you'll see a lot of people get like 2 or 3 of these suckers and just try to one-shot infantry. But like I said,
they're excellent against the OPW because you can outrange the enemy's spare and you can knock it out from distance.
Such. Yeah, but the counterpoint is they're very easy to kill. They're like 2 shots,
They use the same chassis as the Stewart.
Yeah, so just take that.
They're
for
Stewart
comparison.
with a bigger gun.
Yeah, like actually, hold on. They're actually, they're on roughly the same cost as the Stewart. So just in retrospect, they're longer range. Or like, and I mean, yeah,
85 against
they can still good short range, but again, they're really meant for firing long range. But like I said, you really, really, really need to watch out with these things versus
The other
armor.
good thing is that they've got smoke rounds, so they can fire off smoke really fast.
Yeah, they do have a concealing smoke. Apparently, Vet 1. Apparently that's new. I don't think it had before.
Wow. Yeah, I don't remember that being.
Yeah, they Vet 1 they get concealing smoke, so that's pretty damn good. But yeah, also like I said, this thing is good for firing smoke rounds. So again, as the Americans, you may not get some like stuff immediately. Oh my god, to counteract the mortar.
Fuck you, Sherman.
But like I said, it's like
the least favorite
smoke.
general from
mortar carriage retreat. All right, now let's move up. All right, let's try this.
Yeah, see, look, it works against panther.
Up, can't fire that. Let's get the hell out of here, Stewart. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Can't hit me. I'm the gingerbread man. Maybe he can. And also, oh, nope. I was going to decrew it. Here, a lot of people do this. I didn't really click it in time. But if you go over here, you see the Stewart. Hey, fire at my Stewart, bitch. You won't. And then you can get out of it so that way they can't shoot you natively. I probably should move over the Bazooka team, but I'm kind of in the match where I'm like, I'm American. I kind of want them to die. But in any capacity, you can jump out, so then we have to manually target it.
Yeah, jumping out speed is greater when you're in combat than as not.
And then you can just get back in and just open fire.
Yeah, I mean, a good player will just attack ground or attack target.
Yeah. But in any case, that's really the Americans in a nutshell. So at least for general units. Yeah, go. But yeah, like I said, I'm not great with them, but I at least can explain what they are and what's best to do with them. Or like what each of their units are good for. However you want to use their strategies, up to you. I highly recommend checking out other CHG streamers for
always
like,
remember that the whole
tactics.
point was combined.
Yeah,
you want your
arms.
infantry there with your tank.
Exactly. Never, ever, ever send American infantry by themselves. That's not what they're meant for. Sorry, American armor by itself. Always support. Always support. That's what you really need to do. But otherwise, I think that's it. Is there anything else you want to say about the American, Sean, before I wrap this up?
Always remember, you really need to learn their special abilities. That's where their strengths are.
Yeah. Again, a lot of cool abilities. I don't play Americans that much, so apologize for not being amazing with them. But that being said, that's all their units, and I guess we'll go over commanders in the future. But in any case, thanks, Sean, again for your help in this.
Hold on a second. I just got my Storm Tiger out.
Oh God. Can I please not have to do it, please? Please.
Hey, let's do a quick experiment. Let's see if a Sherman can take a hit from a Storm Tiger, since they nerfed the shit out.
You want to have a Jackson? How about I give you that?
Oh, well, that's gonna die.
What?
Well, actually, no. I think they have the same health.
Roughly, I would say.
They both have 640 health now. So, where's your Jackson?
I just deployed it.
This is a little taste for what's coming in the next episode.
Yeah, the stern. Oh my God. Well, yeah.
Where's your Jackson?
It's coming up. It's coming up. I'm not going to turn my AT or anything. I'm going to move my stuff away. I'm holding fire, by the way, which you can do. Here, I'll back up. All right, fire here. Let's see if it can hold up against the Storm Tiger. Wow, it did.
The answer is yes.
Okay.
Oh, what's this? Grenade.
It got to Vet 1. Holy shit, they changed the veterancy on that for the better. Yeah, it's like
you see the little grenade? That was pathetic.
Like, fire at will, and it's like it's like, what the hell? But in any case,
yeah. So they nerfed the shit out of the Storm Tiger. The Storm Tiger used to be able to annihilate anything the Americans have without even trying, but apparently not anymore.
Oh, and by the way, if you ever need recon, just use the major.
Oh, Storm Tigers can reload now while moving?
Yeah, they can.
Can they still be screwed by hitting?
I believe they're still weak during it. Yeah.
Yeah, but can they be decrewed?
I'm assuming.
Jackson.
Are you still reloading?
Yeah.
I'm assuming they. Oh. Wow, never mind.
No,
Holy,
you
it's
can't
taking
anymore.
way more shots. Well, that's stupid. That was the whole point. You decrew it while it's reloading. All right, they've changed. Good thing we looked over this now.
Yeah.
I like decrew because essentially what happened is you would hit it, it would decrew itself,
Yeah,
and you would
people
steal
would
it. But
You're only supposed to have one at a time, but
yeah,
people would cheat.
people would hit it with Oswins or something, kill the crew, and then deploy another Storm Tiger. Or hell, you could technically do it with a King Tiger now because you can only have one armored vehicle. So we'll get into that a little later. But in any case, guys, that's it for the Americans on the field. Let's now double check their commanders. Hello, guys, and time to go over commanders. So the Americans have a limited supply of commanders at your disposal, but that being said, they're not all terrible. In fact, they're all pretty good. There's maybe one or two I dislike, and I think everyone knows I dislike a few, but in case, let's get to it. We got Airborne Company. I want to say paratroopers, but pretty much this is the paratrooper faction, essentially because they are really great close range with Thompsons and long range with LMGs. Plus, you use Pathfinders which are good at long range and also scouting, to deploy beacons, which can heal them on the front line and resupply them with men. So again, really good combo there. You also can paratroop in a 50 cal machine gun, AT gun, unmanned, but still at your disposal to kind of help with the front line. Also, against armor, the P-47 Rocket Strike is pretty great. So overall, this is probably one of the best, like, top 3 commanders. Then we have Armor Company. We're just going to leave it there. I'm kidding. This one got changed from the last patch. Assault Engineers are very good close range. You want to take them out from far. Elite crews can only upgrade with Thompsons. So if you want to surprise the enemy with some, guys with Thompsons and mow them down, great, awesome. But typically it's like 90 munitions, so it is expensive, at least for that upgrade. The Wolverine, okay. So the Wolverine at one point was a joke of a tank. The best thing about it was running over infantry more so than actually killing armor. It's fine. They buffed it a little bit, and yes, it can kind of go toe-to-toe with like Panthers and such now. But that being said, it's still a weak tank. It's still very easy to take out, and I don't recommend it. Like, I don't recommend this doctrine. Bulldozer, good against infantry, and the Howitzer brush, they increase the time and speed so you can do a lot better. But dear Lord, I hate Armor Company. I still do, and I still don't find it good. I've beaten it multiple times, and people usually call it a meme. As much as I love B4Chan and the counterattacks, I hate Armor Company. So that's just my thing about it. It's better, but I still don't find it all that great. The other one in top 3 I'd probably say is Heavy Cavalry. This one just because Rangers are incredibly powerful close range. Plus the Pershings are like, it's the only heavy tank you can get in the game for the Americans. But that being said, even though that's the case, it's still not a defined heavy tank. It's still weaker than the Tiger and such, but it's still a pretty good tank, especially against infantry. Also, riflemen get bonus abilities. So you can put down defenses, mines, etc. And smoke. Off-map smoke is great for getting through that MG line or something like that. So I definitely recommend it. Infantry Company, really good for artillery, whether time on target, mobile artillery with the Priest or Mortar Half-Track, which also can deploy white phosphorus. They're all great. Plus, you get the LMGs with infantry. This one's easily rounds out my top 3. Any case, recon support. This one is an honorable mention. The cluster bomb is a bunch of bombs that will come down and just do a lot of damage toward the enemy. So again, this one's more early game anti-infantry focused. Pathfinders are great also because they can call. These ones are slightly different from the ones that are in the airborne because these ones can call in a direct strike, which are also really good. The problem is you don't get the paratroopers, but the beacons can still detect enemy units on the minimap. So there you go. The airdrop combat unit, yes, you get the paratrooper support squad with it. It's a little different because again they're outfitted more so for anti-tank. But that being said, it's not bad. It's not as I would probably say that these paratroopers are better, but that doesn't diminish their effectiveness. The Greyhound is something I don't understand why. Like, the Greyhound is something where it used to be a light vehicle that was excelled at killing infantry. Then they nerfed its abilities, and now I don't know what the Greyhound is. I think they tried to turn into a light tank, but I don't know. I don't really see many people use that at all, so I don't know. And also we got Rifle Company, so that comes with the EZ8, the flamethrower on rear echelon squads, fire ups and people move faster, so it's simply like oorah. Rifleman flares, again, you can reveal enemy positions, and you get white phosphorus. The two big things are the white phosphorus and the EZ8s. They're easily. EZ8s are better than the Sherman and just are based against all targets, and white phosphorus will bring any health of any enemy unit down to pretty much nothing, so you can easily kill it with pistol fire from a major, even almost soldaten. The problem is the EZ8s, what used to happen is a lot of people would spam them and they would die horribly. So I just don't see enough positives in this doctrine outweigh like the bigger stuff. Like easily I see more like positives in this doctrine or infantry or heavy cav than this. So that's why it's kind of lower into my scale. It was one time like the number one, if not like in the top 2 or 3, but now the other ones have so much that, it just doesn't measure up. And the EZ8 itself is just fine. I know people really like it, but a Panther can easily defeat it. And heck, I've literally defeated 4 of them with just a single King Tiger. It was bad. It was really, really bad. So many bounces. And then we have tac support. This one's another weird one. You think I would like it because, again, you get the LMG, you get a recon pass, you get strafing run, and you get a Calliope. So it's like, oh, and you get a half track. Well, Greyshot, what's so bad? The half track itself is okay. It's a half track. It doesn't really. It's like the Soviet half track. I again use it for AA, and that's it. But the Americans already have an anti-air gun. Again, you could technically get, but anyway, I don't really care for this one. The LMGs are a good upgrade, but I can get it with other doctrines. The P-47 recon run is fine, but I can just deploy a major and get the recon itself. Maybe get a little bit earlier, but still. And then the P-47 strafing run, it's powerful, but if the enemy kind of moves out of the way of that strafing run, it's one strafing run, so you can just, move out of the way. The Calliope is very powerful. There was a point where Calliopes would, I saw Calliope kill King Tigers because they were so overpowered. But that being said, it can take a lot of hits, so that's a positive. But other than that, once again, it's a Calliope and the LMG that are like the two. Not even that. It's just the Calliope, and the strafing gun's okay. So I would rather go with other things. That's why, again, take what I have to say. Again, I know a lot of people are like, well, Greyshot, you could always pick other doctrines, commanders. And before you say Greyshot, aren't you missing one? Well, yeah, technically I am. Mechanized Company. So I completely forgot I didn't buy it. I have it. That's, I think, the last commander that I didn't have. But in any case, Mechanized Company. You get reserve armor, which means, again, you can equip certain tanks with the bulldozer, or you get the M4A76 tanks, which, again, are a slightly different variant. They're fine. Again, it's just chassis with the gun. Again, it's just another Sherman tank. It's very, very similar to the rest. I think it's slightly more armor penetration, but it's okay. You get cavalry riflemen, which are very good. They throw satchels. You get the mortar half track. You get the mechanized group, which is fine. Again, that you can deploy from base, and you get combined arms. Overall, if you really like armor, then maybe this one will float your boat, but I don't. I mean, the big thing is the cavalry rifleman, which is a new unit they've added, and it's great for throwing satchels on enemy armor. As far as I recall, they throw it. But yeah, that's the only thing. I could see this be rapid deploy. You put the cavalry rifleman in the half track, put behind enemy lines, and just satchel the enemy or something along those lines. But I don't know. It's fine. If this one's with a weird one, I've seen it a few times, but I always counted it pretty damn quick. And yeah, the Jeep is pretty fun to deploy, like a Jeep that can counteract Kupels. But other than that, I don't know. I find it okay. If you really like this doctrine, great. But it's not one of my top 3 that I would recommend. But hey, it's still good. I'm not saying it's probably another honorable mention, especially if you can use this right. But that's all the commanders, guys. I want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy. But if you have a strategy or something, put it down below. If you have a question, put it down below. But otherwise, I'll probably go over the OKW next. So, you probably enjoy the same amount of commanders, aka very few of them. But it's fine. It's all dandy. But in any case, guys, I'm Greyshot17, and I'll see you all next time. Hello everyone, and before I go, I want to give a special shout out to Rifle, JP Val, JustThomasPlays, jrchicklis, Streakingwookie, Matthew Leppen, Milam, Onlyplayapples, WhiteHotD, sgtMcPain, Ollie, Delta, Joey, Ace, Jordan Savat, RASpawn, Nathan Angus, Aaron Yee, Tim, and of course, Leo Lou. Thank you all for your amazing support, and I'll see you all next time.